Aloha everyone, what's everybody take done? And I'm Brian, and today I'm going to be doing part 2 of my reaction to Big Red Machine, the Kane story, full career documentary. So if you guys missed part 1, go watch that before you watch this one, but this will be part 2. So I hope you guys like it. If you do, give me a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, turn notifications, and let's get started. I would have to say it is. It was November.
moving on to the tail end of 2006, and he switched over to the SmackDown brand, where he once again reformed the Brothers of Destruction with The Undertaker and began a feud with MVP. This led to the rare Inferno match that Kane actually won on the December 17th Armageddon pay-per-view. Following that, he had a brief program with Booker T moving into 2007, and then found himself going up against the likes of William Regal, Dave Taylor, and Mark Henry post-WrestleMania 23. It wasn't the most memorable period of his career, to be sure, but things soon picked up again because by July of 2007, he was back in the world title picture alongside Batista and the Great Khali. He then followed this up by earning himself a shot at the ECW World title after winning a Battle Royal at WrestleMania 24, winning the belt later that night after pinning Chavo Guerrero in just 11 seconds. With the exception of that one-day reign in 1998, this was Kane's first ever world title run in WWE, and it was well-deserved, but he still had eyes on a bigger prize, hoping to win either the Raw or SmackDown world titles before long, too. It took a while for him to get there, but by Money in the Bank 2010, he was able to earn himself a shot at the World Heavyweight title, something he would win after beating Rey Mysterio once again on the very same night that he had earned the shot. This made him the first ever superstar to have won the WWE title, World title, and ECW title, putting him in the history books for all time.
And hold on.
At Shameless Pets, we use upcycled and misfit ingredients to make delicious, high-quality.
Following that, Kane tried to find out if he could beat his brother at Of course, in true soap opera fashion, it was eventually revealed that the new World Heavyweight Champion had actually been the guilty party all along, and at that year's SummerSlam, the Dead Man returned to seek his revenge. This led to one more big feud between the two brothers, and now, after all these years, they weren't just fighting for pride, they were fighting for gold. While many may have pegged Taker to come out on top of this feud as he had done before, it was Kane who was finally able to show that he had exceeded his older sibling when he beat him 3 times in a row in the autumn of 2010. First in a no-holds-barred match at Night of Champions, then in a Hell in a Cell match at that titular pay-per-view, and finally in a Buried Alive match at October's Bragging Rights. Now, with his brother well and truly in his rearview mirror, Kane was finally free to move on, and he feuded with Edge over the World Heavyweight Championship for a time, eventually losing it to him in a 4-way tables, ladders, and chairs match that December. Still, it didn't really matter that much. By this point, the Big Red Machine was so established that he could recover from almost anything, and he marched on into 2011 by starting a feud with the Core, even teaming up with the Big Show one more time to win the WWE Tag Team titles from them. After that, Kane suffered an injury and took some much-needed time off. When he returned in November 2011, he was now once again wearing his old mask, using it as a way to reinvigorate himself as he began a program with John Cena. Once this was over, and Kane was established as a main event player again, he moved on to Randy Orton, and then eventually CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. And what came out of the latter feud was magic, as Bryan and Kane would eventually form an odd couple tag team named Team Hell No, which led to some of the most entertaining segments the Big Red Machine had put on in years, allowing fans to see a comedic side of his character for the first time, as the two took part in some truly memorable anger management skits during 2012. Team Hell No would end up springboarding Daniel Bryan into the world title picture, in fact, and as this was happening, Kane found himself metamorphosed again, now removing the mask once more and putting on a suit and tie to become Corporate Kane, the enforcer of the authority, and kayfabe director of operations for WWE. Not long after this, and he started playing a dual role on TV, changing between the consigliere-like Corporate Kane and the mask-clad Demon Kane, depending on what the storyline called for, as he proved that even at this late stage of his career, he could still pull out something new and interesting in the form of this Jekyll and Hyde character. While portraying this gimmick, he became the first opponent for Daniel Bryan following his big title win at WrestleMania 30, and continued to be the bane of babyfaces everywhere. By this point, however, Glenn Jacobs was beginning to feel like he had accomplished everything he could as a wrestler, and his interest in politics was sparking up yet again. This is what led to him running for mayor of Knox County, Tennessee in 2017, and to the surprise of many, he was
Well, that's my reaction to this video. Like I mentioned, Kane is my favorite wrestler of all time. And I love his story on Glenn Jacobs, the man who plays Kane. Which I can show you guys real quick. Oops. Sitting on something. The book right here. Mayor Kane. My Life in Wrestling and Politics. Glenn Jacob. The man who plays Kane. That's him right there. That's Glenn Jacobs. Still reading this. You guys can see I have gotten it through so many other pages, so I'm still reading it. Hopefully I get to finish it. And stuff. And that's my reaction to Big Red Machine Kane, the Kane story. I won't do another reaction to this one because it's coming close to the end of it. So I won't do another reaction to this one. But anyway, that's my reaction to this video. If you guys want to watch it, it was made by Wrestle with Andy. This video belongs to him. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to him. But anyway, that's my reaction to this video. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys like this video, give this video a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, turn post notifications, and leave a comment. Subscribe to your channel on my site thing. And yeah, guys, again, I'm almost close to 420 subscribers. 420 subscribers. That's a lot. If I reach a goal, I really appreciate it. Because again, this is pretty much close to my goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers. And 4,000 people watching. So if I reach a goal, I really appreciate it. Because again, these videos are all possible with you guys. And, sorry, my eyes are tired right now. And I love you guys so much for all your support. Like I always say, and I always mean. Try to keep Umbreon up. And you guys catch more videos of me and Umbreon. Umbreon, say bye. Umbreon. And yeah. Alright guys, there you go. Thank you for watching. Please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys for tomorrow for another video. Alright guys, there you go. Goodbye, and have a good day or night.